Okay. Yes, of course, I was mute on Zoom. Okay. Cool. So, good morning, everybody. So, I have some slides for you this morning. And what I'm going to try to do, and I say try, it's because I haven't done this before. Yes, I've done like live streaming on Facebook and on Instagram at the same time, but I'm going to present slides in both places. Yes, so let me go live on Instagram as well. And yeah, I changed my camera this morning, so it could look nicer, but it doesn't. Good morning on Instagram. Yes, we're live, and today it's all about what is an online community. I decided that this would be the first topic of the 12 days of Christmas, just because I assume that everybody knows what is an online community. And then suddenly, when I start having conversations, I realize that that is not the case. So what best way to launch these 12 days of Christmas than talking about what is an online community? So during these days, I'm going to be teaching. Hi, Raven. I'm going to be teaching, and also there's going to be live mentoring, which I'm really excited about. I'm going to, and when I say live mentoring, it's like it's going to be really, how can I say this? Very raw, if that makes sense. Two amazing coaches are going to be live because they have their communities, either memberships or free groups, and there is something that they're struggling with, and we are going to talk about them live. So I offer that for free. So I'm just really, I cannot wait for that. And I have no idea what's the issue that they're going to bring. Anyway, so that's going to happen on Monday and next Sunday. But today, let me just talk about what is an online community. So as I mentioned, I'm going to try to share some slides on Facebook, but also on Instagram. So let's see how that goes. I don't know why I like to complicate my life. Hi, Nita. Good morning. I can see you on Instagram. So yes. So let's do this. Let me just go on Instagram first. Okay, cool. So hopefully you can see that slide correctly on Instagram and on Facebook. So let's start with the basic. What is an online community? And I thought, what would be the best way to explain this? And I thought, I'm going to start by explaining what is not an online community. Sometimes whenever we're confused about, even in life, it's like, I don't know what I want. I don't know. Even with the business, I don't know what my niche is. I don't know what type of offers I want to put out to the world. And sometimes it's easier to start with what are the things that I don't want. So I thought it would be probably easier to say what's not an online community. And then from there, we talk about online communities. So what is not an online community, this is not the people that follow you on Instagram or that follows you on Facebook. No. And I'm going to explain what is that people get confused about it. And I think it's because in general, when someone has, let's talk about Instagram, for example. When someone has following on Instagram and they've been there for a while and they talk a lot in the DMs, and the person that is the owner of the Instagram account or the Facebook account has this beautiful relationship with them. And it could be because, depending on who is your ideal client, that you are working with people that are very introvert, for example. So maybe your social media, if you are a stranger and you cannot see that there is a lot of engagement in the front of the social media, if that makes sense. But you as the host, as the owner of the account, you know that you have this interaction with them. So for you, these are your people. And when that happens, because they have this beautiful relationship, they also know that probably every time that they offer a masterclass or they offer a webinar, people are going to be there showing up for them. And that's why they say, I have a beautiful community. That's not a community. That is just a very nice audience that is following you. And also, you could have people who are very engaged with your accounts. They are always there commenting. I don't know if you say comment on this post, they are going to do that. They are kind of, if you like very diligent. So they are always showing up for you. They are very engaged with you. They are very engaged with your account. They make you feel like you are making an impact, that you are making a change, that you are helping someone. They are showing up for you. And you might say, oh, I have a lovely community. No, you don't. You have a beautiful and very warm audience, but that is not a community. It doesn't matter if they comment. It doesn't matter if it feels really warm for you as the owner of the account. That is not a community. So let's talk a little bit about what is a community. Like what does that mean? Like not even like an online community. Let's just talk about what is a community in general. So a community, it is a group of people either living in the same place or having a particular characteristic in common. Okay, so we're not even talking about on the online world. This is all about people having something that they share. There could be an interest. It could be that they are looking to have the same transformation. They are looking to, I don't know, lose weight, be more confident. Or as it here says, they just happen to live in the same place, okay? That is a community. But now let's talk about what is an online community. So this is going to be a little bit different. I mean, it's similar in the sense of people being together, people sharing an interest. So an online community is a group of people with a shared interest or purpose who use a specific online platform to communicate with each other. So the difference is that they use an online platform. It could be an app, because there are like many apps for communities now out there, which is really good. But also, it could be on Facebook. So the difference is that they communicate through any of these web-based apps or programs or whatever. If you see here, there is no mention of an online community is a place where, there is a host, you know. And I'm saying this because that's the difference with the warm audience. The warm audience, and don't worry, I'm going to do a talk all about the difference between an audience and community, because I know that there are still many questions, many doubts. And if anybody's live, and you have a question, or if you're watching this on replay, let me know that this is, the replay, and then ask a question, leave a question, and then I can come back to it, because I know that there are still questions about this, and I get it. It's a topic that it's a little bit new. There is also these groups or processes or programs that people join, and that they tell them the first thing that you need to do is to launch a Facebook group. So people launch a Facebook group thinking that that's a community. It is not. Okay, so what are the elements of a community? Because I know that I'm saying okay, that is not a community. Just having a group, it's not a community. So what are the elements that are going to make a community, a place, an online place, a real community? And I follow you on Instagram because you cannot see the entire slide, but I'm going to change that for the next days. So the community's elements, I'm going to start with the community creator. Any community needs a host, a person who decides, or a group of people who decides, we are going to create this space. I am going to take this role of leading people to help them to accomplish something specific. And this is very interesting, and you're going to see with the rest of the elements. Sometimes we think that just putting people together, that they share an interest, that's it. that is a community. And it's not that it's just a group of people with a specific interest in common. So to have a real community, where I always explain that feeling part of a community is when you go online into this group, when you open your, I don't know, Mighty Networks or Circle or whatever the app you're using, when you open that app, you feel that you belong. You feel like you're in a very special place. You feel, that we have those friendships that we feel okay with them, but we still feel that we are filtering ourselves. There's something about us that we don't allow to be out there with that person. But then we have other kind of friendships that we just feel so comfortable. We can be ourselves. Sometimes we don't even need to speak. We understand each other. We feel like, like we're sitting in this very comfortable sofa, feeling loved, feeling cared, feeling seen. That's the feeling that you want people to feel in your community. That's how a community happens, when people actually feel part of it. So let's go back to the community's elements. So the first one is the community creator, the host. This is, and I'm always talking about this because this is a role of leadership. And we might cover all the different elements that I'm going to share next. But maybe me as a host, there's something about this role that doesn't feel right. It could be the level of visibility. It could be that you don't like to be perceived as the expert because maybe that's triggering something. It could be that you don't like to be on the spot. So even though you really want to change the world, right now you don't feel ready to be on the spot. Whatever is the reason, if you are not showing up as this host with lots of skills and traits of being a leader, then the community is not going to work, okay? Now, the second element of a community is to have a common interest. So I already talked about that, right? Like it's one of the most simple things. People need to have a common interest. And that's talking about communities in a very high level, because actually the concept goes beyond that, okay? It's not only having interest for comics, let's say, because you could have a community of people where I'm the host, I love comics, I'm going to invite people who also like comics. But if I only do that, I could end up with maybe, comics, graphic novels, it is a big world. So if I just say people who like comics, there are so many different types that when they arrive, it's going to be a little bit confusing for them, because there is not a concept that is deep enough. Okay, so the next element, and it's very obviously very linked with the concept, is where is my slide? Here it is the content. So, okay, I want you to be part of this group. You like comics, but now there is a different layer. Okay, this is there needs to be something for them. There needs to be something that I am offering as the host for them to be interested in the group. So what is going to be the content that they can expect from this community? You need to have something for them. So maybe when you talk about comics, you only talk about comics created by independent artists in the UK. And this group, what we're going to be sharing, it's not only the love for that, but we're going to be, because these comics are always, very artistic, then we're also going to explore the art that is in these comics. Okay, so people already know, okay, I'm here because I do love comics, but also this is what I'm going to get. I'm going to get this place where we can explore art, where I can get super clear about what is that I like this a specific kind of comics. I don't know, but there is a different layer for them. Okay. So I always, and if you've been following me, I always talk about these three elements. Like to have a successful community, you need to nail these three elements. Otherwise, if you only have the content, but you don't have the other two things, it's not going to work. If you only have the concept and not the rest of things, it's not going to work. And if you have a beautiful concept and amazing content, but you aren't ready to show up as the host, then you are going to struggle. Okay, so okay, let me share the next slide. Done. Oh dear, what am I doing here? Okay, here. Okay, the last element, and this is very interesting because this is something that you cannot, it's not very tangible. It is not tangible as your concept. It is not tangible as your concept, as you showing up as a host. And this last one, it is a sense of belonging. It is for people to feel connected. That's what makes the biggest difference when people think that just because they have a very engaging Instagram account and a very engaging Facebook account, even a very engaged Facebook group, that doesn't mean that it's a community. When the transformation happens, when you actually have a community, is when the communication, yes, they react to your posts because they like you, they are in your world because they see something in you that they appreciate. But then what happens is that they feel part of something. When you feel part of something, it is because you can identify yourself, you can see yourself in the rest of the people. You can see and you can understand very clearly why this person who is sharing a post is in this group. You can see yourself. You can see their struggles. Yes, I know. I'm getting a comment on Instagram when Raven is telling me I can get people to reply to me, but still not to connect with each other. So people are still there because they like you. There is something around the content that could be different. So you allow that connection to happen. Because here's the thing. And I remember sending a newsletter talking all about this. And the newsletter, I was saying that I truly believe that David Bowie, it was at the core a community creator. The way he expressed himself, the way he conducted himself, the way he even was singing in TV shows and looking at the camera at the right moment so people could feel connected to him, that was like a very powerful host. So if you could put people in a room that were David Bowie's fans, you could start seeing yourself, why is that you are there? Because the thing with the host is always some steps forward than you are as a member, right? So if we're in a program where I'm looking to be more confident, the host is already probably 2 steps, 3 steps, or 10 steps further than I am. The rest of people, it's like me. We want to feel confident. We don't feel confident right now. The more you curate your community, the more you talk to the right people, the more you have your ideal member inside your community. That means that they are going to realize that. So whenever someone talks and shares a post, whenever someone shares an issue, whenever someone talks about the things that they are going through, you are going to see yourself in someone else. And that is going to make you feel really comfortable because you feel that you belong, you feel connected. Those are the elements to actually have a community, which I always say, when you are building your social media strategy, when you are building your content or posts, aim for a community. What you are going to get is a very warm audience that is going to buy from you. But it's the same, those are the same steps that you are going to take, because people need to trust you, right? People need to know that you are the expert on something specific. People know that they can rely on your content, but there is no that connection. And that's the difference with a community. When you are in a community, you are aiming to get that connection, to spark that connection with people. And I'm going to repeat something that I already said. Like, not every online group is a community. And that could be a personal or a strategic choice. I mean, I'm saying that this is not right or wrong. There are very, very successful coaches with big Facebook groups that they are in a community. They are just a space with a very warm audience, a very engaged audience, people who are commenting, people who are sharing, but they are sharing with the host. They are not sharing because they want to get, something from the group, from their tribe, from this community. No. They are sharing, they are talking to the host. That's the only thing that they want. That's the only interaction that they want. So this is a very personal and a strategic choice. I have clients who they want to use their free community as a funnel, and that's absolutely fine. I mean, and when I say a funnel, is that it becomes a strategic interaction, and that's good. And they're like, I want this strategic interaction, but I want this to be a warm audience. I don't want a community. I want the community to be available for those who pay me for the next step or the next route. That's amazing. But there is another kind of people and another kind of clients, which are my favorite clients, who they want to build a community. It doesn't matter if it's a free one and then they offer something else. But for them, they are building this because they want to create a bigger impact. They want to have the community at the core of the business. When you have the community at the core, maybe from the external, it's going to look a little bit similar to other people who build their businesses without community being at the core. But when you build a business, when what you want to do is really create a huge impact, when you want to create a legacy, and that you know that by building that legacy, clients are going to come, money is going to come, you are going to be fine. But what you want to do is a change in the world, then the way we structure everything is very different. It's way more intentional than just building an online group that is going to be a warm audience. And that's okay. And as I said, this is a very personal and strategic choice. But people think that because they have a group where everybody's engaging with them, they have a community. No, it is not. It's just a group, a huge group with a very warm audience. So, okay, that's everything that I prepared for today. I'm going to try to keep these calls just for 30 minutes long. That's it. So it's with lots of value, but it's not overwhelming. And let me know if you have any question. I know that it's probably early in the morning for a weekend. I'm an older person now, so I wake up early. But you can just leave your questions here if there is still doubts or anything, so I can cover them. I can come back to you, or I can even do like another session to explain this. Tomorrow is going to be all about why you should care about online communities. And when I say you, I'm talking about you coaches, you change makers, you business owners who want to make a transformation, who want a business with community at its core, and maybe you just want to have a very warm audience. You are welcome into my world as well. But I really want you to start thinking in a different way. I really want to change your perspective about communities, and to make peace with the way they behave. So I don't want to share more because that's for tomorrow and I just get super excited. But this was really good. So I'll see you tomorrow, 10 a.m. Why you should care about online communities. Have a lovely weekend, everybody. Bye.